So the Music Market was a Creative Victoria initiative that effectively brings together a whole lot of peak music bodies within Victoria. So we've got Music Victoria, The Push and the VMDO, and it puts together, I guess, office spaces for all of these organisations, co-working spaces, education facilities and presentation spaces, so performance venues as well. And all with the intent of it being a space where dialogue, exhibition and cultural production can begin to take place within the city. So it's located at the Collingwood Yards Precinct in Collingwood on Johnson Street. And our project was across both Building C and F. So Building F, which is along Johnson Street, and I guess the main thing to sort of point out is the Keith Haring mural, which is registered with Heritage Victoria and has very cultural significance for the city. And I guess also interestingly, the building is noted for its Dudok styling, which is a reference to Willem Dudok, the Dutch architect. And this was the state of the building when we first began to look at it. And this is Building C, which was the lock building, which is separate but just adjacent to Building F. And some images of the space when Nike was using it for some of their ad campaigns before we went in there. And there's some really interesting, I guess, synergies in the space for music. So we've got the Tote Hotel, the home of rock, PBS Radio moving in next door, and the Spiegel tent creating this nice synergy of music-related programs in the area. So this is the scope of the project. We've got the offices of the peak music bodies located in Building C. We've got the co-working spaces at the bottom of Building F, and then the more public education and presentation spaces on the upper level, and there's another level above. And we've got the Keith Haring mural here, which has an 8-metre registration zone stretching into the interior of the space, and this really was a massive part of the project that really drove the way that we were thinking about the project. So we really like the synergies between music and architecture and use these to drive the way we thought about the project, using dynamics, rhythm, composition, texture and harmony to drive the spaces. All of the programs were conceived as a series of performative moments through the space. So this was important to the way we looked at the spaces. Again, an audio-visual overlay was employed into the space to augment the space when it was in this performance mode and also give information to people when they were coming to the spaces. There's an extensive white zigzag baffling system, which is our acoustic system through the space. So the acoustic system has the quality of a recital hall, but without looking like one, and so it's much more welcoming, we believe, to anyone coming to the space. And all spaces were conceived to be both social and work spaces. So this is the ground floor. We've got the Haring mural located here, and the 8-metre zone stretching in here. So this has co-working spaces, music presentation spaces, the VMDO office, and a boardroom. Moving upstairs, we have this entry corridor in the main entrance to the space down here. We then have this education space at the end and the stage and performance venue, and then the green room located at the end here. The bar then punches the corridor and acts as a way to serve into both areas, or can serve bidirectionally when this operable wall is closed. And it also acts as a space where you can go in and sort of, I guess, view different happenings of the day when it's not being used in a bar mode. So as mentioned, the mural was a very important part of the project. We worked closely with our heritage consultant, the conservator of the mural, and also our acoustic consultant, and really came up with driving a design that really meant that the longevity of the mural was protected from the outset. And so sort of counterintuitively, we placed the stage within the 8-metre zone, and that was deliberately done to face the music away from the mural, and so that all vibration and music would be moved away, and the green room acts as a buffer as well. And so if there are people dancing in this space, the body movement as well is separated from the mural as well. The section is interesting in that we had to completely isolate all of the intervention into the space, so everything's rubber isolated from the floor, the walls and the ceiling. And that I guess, it runs the whole way of the space as well. So extensive vibration testing was done throughout the process at the beginning, during construction at the end, to ensure that the delicate paint was being maintained and no vibration impacts were occurring to the paint of the mural. So a layering of materiality, and I guess this idea of perforation, again begins to reveal some of the layers of history of the space. And where we removed walls, we left their ghost to create a sort of palimpsest of time and history through the spaces as well. Rich timber spotted gum was used to add texture to the spaces as well. and again reusing windows and doors wherever we could, where they were taken out elsewhere, and revealing sort of these moments of the past as well. Building C as well kind of reinforces this idea of the palimpsest with the walls and revealing the timber floors that we have in the space. And then this is the entrance into the more public area with a sort of green glistening entrance that invites you inside. Inside we have this, I guess, co-working slash kitchen with the LED signage which begins to tell you about the happenings of the day. Movable joinery further facilitates collaboration within the space, and it also blocks this space off to become the bar when it's in that active performance mode. This is looking in the other direction, so again revealing brick wherever we removed walls, and then the green reflective ceiling welcomes you into that bar space where you can then begin to see into those other education and performance spaces. So this is the main performance space, the education space looking towards the stage, and you can see here the acoustic baffle system in full effect. It's suspended from the ceiling and also the walls. The lighting system, again, and the flexible furniture mean it can transition from day to night venue quite seamlessly. And then audio-visual elements mean the two spaces can operate separately, and then the flexible wall also augments that ability. The stage within the space is a fully functioning stage, but can also be used as a workspace when it's not operating in that work function. And then the large existing windows were all protected and kept in, bringing all of this beautiful natural light into the space, and again facilitate part of the acoustic system of the space. All of the spaces are conceived, as I mentioned earlier, as co-working spaces when they're not in that activated way, as you can see here. And we have big blackout curtains throughout the space that ensure that the space can be transformed from day to night very seamlessly. So the composition of materiality in line with the existing structure was all really highly considered within the space. And this is the bar looking front on, and it can be served from either side. And then the teaching lecterns also integrated into the bar, as well as the tech desk or DJ station, depending on the functionality or mode of the space at the time. So the green room located at the back has this big rubber wall that is there to, protect the mural, and it was deliberately chosen for its quality for vibrational impact. And again, layers of history in the space are revealed wherever they could be. So the lighting, again, gestures towards the street and starts to indicate what's going on inside, and is, an important part of the way that we thought about the design. Again, welcoming and signalling itself to Collingwood. And then I'll just stop here with a video while we answer questions, but this effectively shows the sort of performative nature of the space when all of the AV systems are operating.